What is up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. I'm coming at you with yet another perfume experience. And for today, sticking with the sample theme as well as the artisanal theme, I have one of my favorite samplers that I'm very careful with, even though it's just a smidge, from Ensar Oud, and that is Oud Dhul Q from Ensar Oud, and this is it right here. As you can tell from the sample, hopefully, that most of it is actually at the top, not at the bottom. So this is the thickest, most resinous sample I've ever received from Ensar, and it is also one of my favorite. Now, I've been contemplating a lot actually buying it. However, I am still in a place within my perfume and scent journey where I enjoy sprayables more than swiped based scents, in particular pure ouds. So for the time being, I won't be pulling the trigger on it just because I like sprayables versus the swiped ones. However, when I do finally reach that point in my journey where I do enjoy swipables, this is on the top of my list. And I'll walk you guys shortly through why that is. Okay? What we're gonna do is we'll start off actually by the musing from Ensar's website. The musing around this one isn't very long, and it has quite a bit of facts in there. And for me to be able to really convey to you this in terms of where it came from, year of production, some of the facets of it, it'll be helpful to go through the musing. Then I'll walk you through my own personal experience with the scent and share with you whether you should pull the trigger on or not. I already talked about that a bit, but that's just my personal preference. However, for the general public, especially those of you that like oud swipes, swiping your oud, stick around. You're gonna like this, okay? So what we're gonna do is we will start with the musing and descriptive from the Ensar website. All right, so Oud Dhul Q. So this is part of the organic oud offering on the Ensar Oud website, and this is from Cambodia and Thailand, and it's vintage 2021. That's currently what he has offering on the website. Now, I don't know if the one I have is a 2021 or not. I don't quite remember when I've received it. It's been a few months, but he currently is offering a 2021 vintage. And this is his musing. Just when you thought oud couldn't get any more kodo, just when you thought Aroha Kyako is the most incense-heavy oud oil you'd ever smell, Aroha's granddaddy steps into the room and says, "Excuse me. What you've got here is the most honed incensey top notes your olfactory receptors are able to decipher. I dare to say it's even incensier than an actual oud chip fuming away right in front of you. It's like you take the raw agarwood vapor exuding from that chip on your burner and place it under an olfactory magnifying lens. It's because in oil form, that scent is so concentrated, Oud Dhul Q literally zooms in closer to agarwood's resinous heart than even straight up oud smoke. What puts Dhul Q a shelf above Aroha Kyako is the depths of the incense chords and the refined heart notes that follow. That's when you realize you're dealing with a different animal. It's when the smokiness recedes ever so slightly that your nose begins to twitch, starts to seek out the emerging notes. Is that oud ishak, you wonder? But it's not. Incense Khmer, close. That's the aromatic caliber we're talking about here. The scent of aged wild Cambodian aloes, rich in tobacco, matured molasses, a narcotic golden champa flourness that complements leafy notes of pure, puera? Okay, I don't know. Zero barn, rather somber cherry wood, and before too long, thick cherry jam. If you ever wondered about oud connoisseurs talk about aromatic complexity, this is the kind of aroma they're dissecting. Dhul Q is a fusion of organically grown Thai agar wood and a rare batch of wild Papuan wood, distilled in copper, brewed with a hybrid of different water sources, a hint to future distillers. But that doesn't tell you anything about why it smells the way it does. The top profile is nothing like Thai or Cambodian oud. It's in a scent category of its own. Alright, so this, you guys, is what the musing on Ensar's website is, and the reviews are amazing. There's even a review from, jeez, I forgot. I'm gonna pull it out again because I want to say the name correctly. There is a review even from Russian Adam. So that's the guy that did Civet de Nuit, another artisanal, and just nothing but compliments to the scent profile of this. So that just goes to show how good this is. Now, as you've heard through the musing, that most of this has a resinous, smoky profile, okay? And that's really the selling point of it. A lot of the reviews talk about how smoky it is, how masculine it is. So, as I mentioned, and I'm gonna show you guys again, as you can see, most of it is up there, okay? That's how sticky and resinous this is. It's the most sticky and resinous sample I have from Ensar. And yeah, let's get started with the experience. I won't be able to swipe this just because there isn't really much in here, and it's just stuck to the top, and I'd like to keep it that way for as long as I have it until I procure myself a bottle or a vial or a tola, whatever you would like to go with. As per usual, I'm gonna be very careful with these because they're very finicky, these ones. I do not like the plastic top at all. Okay. Wow. Guys, I had a rough day at work, and I ain't gonna lie, this is very medicinal and healing when I smell it. Wow. Okay, so the first thing I want to mention that hits me right away that's not mentioned in the musing or the reviews is that it has the septic quality, antiseptic quality to it, okay? So it's very medicinal, herbaceous. It has a mentholy touch to it, which I'm surprised is not captured in the description because it's very prominent on the opening. So actually most of it is sitting in the cap, so. Wow, this smells like thick green tropical forest, as if you're walking in it after it has rained, and you see thick black soil everywhere, and it's just that thick scent of greenery and forestry. Wow. God, this is so good for my mental health right now and for my soul. Now, in terms of resinous, it is very resinous. Guys, this reminds me of black molasses. So black molasses is kind of like a honey extract. And I say honey loosely because it's the closest thing to honey, but from sugar cane. So it's basically the sugar extracted from sugar cane turned into a resin paste, and basically it becomes very black, very thick, and it's very high on iron. It's good for you. They give it for kids that are anemic, and this looks exactly like black molasses. Scent profile wise, like I've said, it's very antiseptic, mentholy. It's very woody in the sense of tropical rainforest after rain kind of a scent. I get the smokiness, but it's not the most prominent thing I'm picking here. It takes me a bit in terms of sniffing really deeply to get that smoky facet. It's not the first thing that comes to mind when I initially sniff it. At least if you take a shallow sniff, you get more that antiseptic mentholy forest vibe. It's when you sniff in really deeply is when you get that smoky hint. There's definitely that cherry facet in there, and that's just, again, sitting a bit in the back, so you have to really sniff in deeply. But yes, definitely smoky cherry profile in here. But very medicinal quality to it also off of the top. It definitely does have a masculine profile, but it's not your typical green masculine profile. It's more masculine in a tobacco sensitive way. So it's kind of like a very strong cigar kind of tobacco profile here. And it's not a sweet cigar. It's more of a mature Maduro kind of a cigar. Very thick smoke, very old aged, very tobacco forward. So I can see why this would be considered and deemed more masculine than feminine. Yeah, I don't really think, I mean, ladies can also put it on, but this is much more masculine leaning in terms of its scent profile. Wow, okay. So I think that's enough sniffing here because I'm starting to get lightheaded from trying to take really heavy whiffs. And I want to keep this intact until I do get myself one eventually. Now, with respect to performance, again, with this sampler, it's going to be a bit rough to gauge that, but just going off of my experience from some of the swipeable perfume oils I have, as well as just familiarity with Ensar Oud. Again, when it comes to performance, this is going to be a skin scent, and I'm going off of my own skin. Performance may vary from one person to the other depending on your body chemistry, but for me, this is a skin scent, meaning that when it comes to projection, trail, and sillage, people are going to have to get really close to me to be able to pick on that scent. And again, with something like this that has a very meditative, relaxing quality to it, and that would be the main purpose of using it, you're really not putting this on for other people, you're putting it for yourself, okay? This isn't gonna be a compliment getter, this is more for you to relax, take it easy, meditate, heal your soul, kind of like I do need today after a long, brutal day of work and meetings. This is where this comes to shine and play, okay? That's that kind of scent. In terms of where, I'm not gonna say you can put this casually or formally, but whatever your relaxation routine is, make sure you're wearing something loose, something cozy, something comforting when you apply this on. This is the ideal attire and setup for me to enjoy this, okay? You can still put it formally or casually, it's up to you, but really what comes to my mind with this is relaxation, okay? And I'm loving it right now because it is literally, I'm still able to smell it a bit from handling it, and it's stuck a bit in my nose, and it's just relaxing, okay? So, seasonality. This is a really interesting one because even though it is pushed as or marketed as a smoky essencey oud, the first thing that will come to mind automatically is that, okay, this is better off for cold weather. But because the smoke and incense in here are sort of a middle to base note, it's very understated and undertoned. You can actually wear this across all 4 seasons. It's gonna do very well in summer, it's gonna do very well in spring, and it's gonna shine in fall and winter, okay? In terms of time of day, I'm gonna say that this resonates with me more as an evening scent versus a morning scent. Because in the morning, you know, I'm just going after it, right? You know, getting busy, getting stuff done. I don't want to be in a relaxed mood. But in the evening, I'm slowing down, I'm taking it easy, preparing to go to bed. This would be a perfect scent to swipe on as you are preparing for your evening routine. Now, I'm gonna say this because I think this is important. This is not a young man or a young lady's scent. I don't think if you're young, you're gonna appreciate this scent. This is 30, maybe even I'll go as far as saying a 40-year-old plus kind of a scent when it comes to your age. I don't think you're gonna have the nose to appreciate this if you're younger than about 40. Maybe 30 is like the lowest age range I would go. And just again, I'm speaking from my own personal experience. If you gave me this before I had turned 30, no way would I have entertained this scent, okay? It's a complex, mature scent, and it requires a sense of maturity in the individual that's gonna, you know, put this on, but also experience with different scents to be able to really appreciate this. Otherwise, someone's gonna smell it and they're gonna say, ew, it smells like soil, which is not the case at all. But it's important that you have a complex nose and an appreciation for ouds, okay? And it's very, very important that this point resonates, because the last thing you want to do is, if you don't have experience with ouds and you're still early on in your frag journey and you go and buy this and you're gonna feel like you wasted your money. When that's not the case, it's just that you do not have a developed, mature nose. Okay, so I think this is really important to keep in mind as you look into this. Now, with that said, would I recommend blind buying this? Yes, 100%. If you like smoky, incensey, molasses, resinous, dark, cherry, masculine ouds, you are gonna love this without question, okay? This is as good as it gets in this category and profile of ouds, and you're gonna enjoy this a lot. And as of now, the Ensar Oud website has the 0.3 gram sampler for $39 US. Now, it is expensive for 0.3 grams, but then the brand is really expensive because of the ingredients they use and the quality they put into their perfumes and ouds. So if that is your thing and that's within your budget, jump on the sample to try it out first. But I do not think you're gonna regret jumping straight into the 2 gram vial or the 3 gram vial. 100% recommend this one. I'm not gonna recommend something I don't enjoy, to be very straightforward with you guys. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous oud. And again, if it wasn't just that I'm not into swipables, I'm more into sprays, I would jump on it right away. But it's one on the top of my list as I move forward. And the reason I say this, let me elaborate. It's not that I dislike swipables. I just like how the sprays open up the scent because of the mix, the breakup of the particles and mixing with air. I like that open profile at the initial spray, versus with the swipes, it takes some time for the scent to react with your body heat to open up. And I like that opening from the get-go. This is why I go for sprays versus swipables. But it's just a different experience, okay? So I need to say this just so people do not assume that spraying is superior to swiping or vice versa. No, they're just two very different experiences. And at the moment, within my frag journey, I have an appreciation for sprays versus swipables, okay? So get your nose on this. If you like it, get your wallet on it, cop it. Let me know in the description. Let me know in the comments if you guys have this and what your experience with it has been like, especially if you had it for quite some time and if you used it for a few months or even years. Let me know what it's like. If you procure different vintages or versions. I'm going with vintage. That's the descriptive on the Ensar Oud website. If you have a different vintage other than 2021, let me know if you have both and you notice a difference, right? Because according to the descriptive or musing on the Ensar website, it's a difference growth. It's a mix of organic and wild oud, but he's also using some sort of different kinds of water in the distillation. So that obviously is going to impact the scent profile from one vintage versus the other. So by all means, if you had your nose on different vintages, let me know what the difference is, if there's any variation. Again, it's a far stretch that anybody has different vintages, but I'll put it out there just in case. Anyways, with that said, this will be it for today, guys. As per usual, really appreciate your time and attention. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.